Hello everybody, thanks for joining me today. I'm not even sure quite how to put into words what I'm doing in this video. The idea was products I like the look of, products that give me a good vibe. I think you'll see as we go along what this means, but we're not just going based on quality of the product. I mean, it's just like a feeling. Yes, that's where we're at today. It's gonna be a little get ready with me, and I'm not really sure where this look is going at this point. But this is the primer I chose. I chose the Catrice Glam in Gold because when I see this primer in my drawer, I think that is beautiful. It's got little like gold flakes floating in it. I mean, this is giving me a luxurious vibe. There's something about glass bottles that when things are in glass, I kind of feel like, okay, we're leveling up now. We're doing something a little bit fancier than just the average thing. Does anybody else feel that way? Glass packaging and like slightly larger packaging, like that's subconsciously doing something for me. Okay, I put this on. This really just feels like kind of a hydrating gel primer. Lightweight, but still giving my skin a little extra drink. And then for a base product, I would have to go with the Tower 28 Sunny Days. I love how lilac is part of a lot of their packaging. Also, when they say Sunny Days, I mean, I know they're trying to market an SPF product here with SPF 30, but it takes me back to Sesame Street, you know? Sunny days. And that's just a boatload of good memories there. So like, yeah, I feel drawn to this product. I enjoy this product. I like how like the squeezy tube is like, look what they're doing there. They made it special, you know? I wear the shade 15 Melrose. I probably need to get a new one because I feel like for the amount of time I've had this, maybe the SPF is not all that effective anymore. You know, I might have kind of sort of gone past some expiration with this, and I am getting low on the product, but I do always wear my Supergoop sunscreen every single day just under my makeup as part of my skincare. You don't see that going on, but it's there. I'm gonna use my little e.l.f. brush. This is a light coverage product, I would say. Some extra radiance. Did I even put any on my forehead? See, where I have put it, I feel like I look extra glowy, but not tons of coverage. But we've got other stuff for that. Come on now, girl. There. I just needed some more. Swipe. We'll swipe and build just a little bit here. I don't know why I was trying to be so stingy with it. I used to watch Sesame Street all the time. Mr. Rogers, you know. Still love all that PBS content. I feel like almost any PBS Kids show I turn on for Rhett, he's gonna enjoy it. His favorite thing right now is reading those Little Critter books. Does anybody remember Little Critter? If you were in the era to be watching Sesame Street and you're like my age, you probably had some Little Critter books. What kind of critter is he? Is he a porcupine? I'm getting porcupine, but maybe something else. I don't know. But there is such a simplicity in the way Mercer Mayer wrote those books. I'm sure he felt like, I don't have to overcomplicate this. The picture is going to give so much emotion. You know, these critters, this critter family. We have lots of those. Belle and Eve also went through loving little critter phases. We even have a little critter stuffy. Moving on, this product, not maybe especially impressive in its packaging, but I do love a pot concealer, okay? This is the e.l.f. Putty Color Correcting Eye Brightener. Shade is fair, and I think this type of product, like a corrective product in a little pot, just also kind of takes me back to thinking about Benefit Erase Paste. Yeah, has anybody thought about that one lately? Just a very good and transformative kind of product, and it makes me think about the things that came before it that I also loved on this level. I'm gonna take my Morphe M132. What this video maybe just brings to light is, why do we like what we like anyway? Sometimes it's past experiences, sometimes it's certain memories. Other times, yeah, it's maybe just a really good thing. You know, it just does exactly what you want it to do, and you're loving it. And look at that brightened up here. But sometimes you like the process that that product gives you. Sometimes you like the ease. Sometimes you like that it's just really cute. Now, I was talking about how I think glass bottles kind of get in my head like, oh, that's something kind of stepped up because it's in glass. I mean, not necessarily, but that's what I'm thinking. And then also size. What is it about the size of this darn concealer, this Born This Way? I know they're trying to market it like multi-use, so maybe, I don't know, you would need more of it. It needs to be a bigger container. I don't know. It's from Too Faced. It says full coverage, and my shade is Cream Puff. I also like that my shade is Cream Puff instead of like light beige. But it's big, and I like that about this product. Does the size of a product somehow indicate that it's better? Or does it just stick in your mind more because it takes up more room in your storage? I don't know, friends. But I'm putting this in my concealer zones, and it's going to give me great coverage. It's going to be easy to blend. Look at that. So I'm going to just spread a little, and then I'll buff over it with my larger brush. It's good. It feels weighty. It feels substantial. It's like there are certain products maybe where they're sending a signal to your brain that it's gonna be good for various reasons before you've even internalized whether the product itself is actually good. Look at that. The finish of that concealer is also so pretty. Like I've just got, as you saw, a very light coverage tinted moisturizer underneath, and that concealer comes in and it's just blending. Like you can't see where it starts and stops. It's just blending beautifully. Going to another cheer competition this weekend? I know not everybody cares about cheer competitions, but it just, I'm talking about my life. I'm talking about the things I'm doing, and that happens to be what I'm doing this weekend. Only a one-day competition, though. It's gonna fly by. Ooh, look at this. Every time I open my powder drawer, while I may not be reaching for this one every time, I'm really not reaching for this one that much, but it does speak to me. In a sea of black caps, this one speaks to me, and it is Laura Mercier. It's their translucent setting powder, the tone up version in the rose shade, so it has like, you know, kind of a pinky look to it. We're gonna tap some out in the cap. Probably tapped a little too much. And then I'm gonna use my puff. It's actually called a pinky puff, although I generally use it with my index finger. And then we'll just dab this in and get our under eye set. It's a good powder. Like, I really think it's nice, but I guess a little more drawn to reach for other things most of the time. Like, even though it's looking cute, I'm thinking, yeah, I've still got this or that I'm planning to use, blah, blah, blah. But if we're going strictly on vibes here, I love this. All the Laura Mercier setting powders are really quite good. If I had to rank them, I would probably go Ultra Blur, and then the OG and this one are kind of like tied together. The fact that this one is apparently light pink, it doesn't really put it head and shoulders over the others. I feel like they all perform in a very similar way. We're taking the Morphe Under Eye Bullet Brush, like we do. And here's where we smooth it around. This is the distribution. The puff is the unloading phase, and now we just kind of make sure, like, I'm dabbing it around everywhere. And then you know what I'm often prone to do at this stage of the game is think about maybe a powder foundation, maybe a little something extra would be nice all over the skin. And one thing I love is a marbled look. Give me a little Laura Geller Baked Balance and Brighten. I love to see this. I like to see this in the bronzers and the blushes. I admire this quality in Hourglass products, the new CoverGirl products. This feels good. You know how NASA's showing new pictures of the planets? Like, this could be one of those planets. In fact, what if they were just photographing baked makeup, actually? I'm just gonna dip in with a pretty lightweight type of powder brush because I'm not going for high coverage here. I'm not trying to make this be my foundation. I'm just adding a little everywhere. And also, when I just think about using Laura Geller, I mean, I have interviewed Laura Geller before. I like who she is. I like what her brand stands for. I like thinking about being in my little apartment and getting my first ever small set of Laura Geller things, and how I use those mini pans with such consistency and did eventually hit the terracotta tile at the bottom. Like, we go way back, okay? We go way back. There we go. My skin's feeling a little more set all over. Next up for a bronzer. If you're looking like a squatty little mushroom, I'm into that. Thank you, Wet n Wild. They put out their little pudding blushes. This is Holy Mocha. Mother Fluffer is what they called them, but they are a pudding blush is the classification. They are like kind of a dense, whipped, mousse-like consistency. You'd like to put a spoon in it and maybe take a bite, but you won't because it's makeup, of course. Got too much leftover Easter candy to focus on. I've spotted it around, and this is just the easiest thing to blend, and it looks like it's gonna be dark, but I mean, it just blends in. It's so subtle. So subtle. So this is the darkest shade that this stuff comes in, and it just eases into the skin. And they got blushes looking like this too. The blending time, I should literally have somebody up here with a stopwatch and see like how fast this blends. I don't think there's a cream product that blends faster than that. Real time, baby. Like, that is wow. I think I'm looking a little like little critter back here with this uncombed hair. How long has it been looking like that? There is a softness to this. I wonder if I built it a little bit, like maybe just around the hairline, a little building. I feel like I'm being somewhat generous with those swipes. Like I'm really putting some product down. Little mushroom. I'm building a little, but that is one soft product, we'll say. Then for blush, okay, there's a size thing going on here. There's a multitasking quality. This one speaks for a lot of different products that are like this that I feel drawn to. You start calling yourself a multi-stick and my ears perk up and I'm thinking, I love the thought of doing something on cheeks and lips. So like this is the one from Tarte. I got it in the cutest little 3-pack. Was it around my birthday? Ulta or somewhere was doing these little sticks. You can click them up. Don't be clicking up too much though. Like it was just yesterday, me and Rhett and the glue stick. I'm like, don't twist it up too much. You're gonna get goop everywhere. But this shade is Flamingo and I may have just done way too much. But it was the cutest little 3-pack and it had a charm on it. And I like the thought that this can be my lip color too. She's pigmented. I mean, nothing says good vibes like a hot pink cheek. Yeah, I am feeling a little scared about the fact that I put too much on, but we'll deal with it. This is something I do maybe 2-3 times a week. It'll be fine. Dab over. It's kind of like when you're listening to a song you love or a song that's just got the beat and you're in your car and you're like, I didn't realize I was going 15 miles over the speed limit. You get kind of carried away for a second. I try not to do that, by the way. I feel I'm a very safe driver, but it does happen, let's be honest. Look at that fun and festive cheek. Let's go ahead and put it on the lips. See, this is what I love. These lay down looking like lipstick. They're not like sheer balm. They're full color. That's just fun. I don't know what I'm going to add to that for my finished look, but for now, yeah, this is the zone I'm living in. And that brings me to another thing. I really love when a product's outer packaging echoes the inside shade, such as this. The way Too Faced has their entire compact looking like the color of the blush that's inside. That does something for me. This is called Candy Clouds, okay? It's the Cloud Crush. Lord knows I don't need much more blush, but I'm going to just get a little bit. This is a pretty, actually light pink, but we'll just dab it over top here. Boop, boop, boop. It's spring, wear the blush. But does anybody else enjoy that so much, like either in blushes or in lip colors? You know, I really like it when the outside echoes the inside. I think I'm much more likely to reach for things. Here's another thing that I love about products. It's when the brand really builds an entire identity around that product. Benefit is really good at this. Let's take this for example. Cookie. Cookie is Cookie. Nothing else in the line looks just like this, okay? They're not just calling it Cookie Pearly Highlighter. It's Cookie, you know it by the name Cookie. It's like the man in town that everybody just calls Bud, you know? That's not the name his mother gave him. People who live based on their nickname that everybody calls them by. This is a highlighter, but we call her Cookie. And there's just this whole identity. And I love, you look at Benefit's boxed blushes. They all have a very distinct personal identity. You've got Tara, you've got Willa. I love when that happens. And also, like, why is this one called Cookie? There's whimsy going on here, and I like that. So we're going to dip into it with our Real Techniques setting brush, and we're going to get a little glow going here. And this one really does pop off. And once I've got that on, I clean my brush off so we don't add more, but we're merely blending now. Surface of the skin looking so good. Anything else still remaining on the brush, it can just go up there. Let's do a little Cupid's bow. Oh yeah. I just think this video brings up an interesting topic, which is like, why do you like what you like? Do you like it because it has a certain look? Are you drawn to certain things because of the packaging or a certain feeling they give you? I'm going to browse and I'm going for my little skinny CoverGirl Clean Fresh brow pencil. I devoted a whole short video talking about my brow routine because I know a lot of people watch short stuff who don't watch long stuff, and maybe some people wondered, I don't know. Medium brown is my shade, and it's just so skinny, does such a good job. It does stand out as a cute little pink pencil in a sea of black pencils, black packaged pencils in my drawer. So there is that, but I just love the way it performs. I know I'm gonna have an easy time with it. And that's really what I like. I like ease. So often, my enjoyment for makeup, this is a big one, guys, it doesn't really always come back to, oh, I love the way I looked at the end of that. Like it really all, you know, like that was a masterpiece. No, I'm about process. I'm about the feeling putting it on. I don't get up and do makeup every morning because I must leave the house with a certain look. I get up and do makeup every morning because I love doing makeup every morning. Does that make sense? When I'm talking about things or when I'm enjoying things or when I'm having a certain theme for a video, it's not always all about this is the look you can achieve. I'm enjoying just doing it. And I do feel drawn to products that give me that feeling of ease. They know what I want and they're not going to make me work too hard for it or feel frustrated. This is not a time of frustration. This is a happy place. The vibes are good. I do not know why my FM radio just conked out on me that I have up here. I still have one in the kitchen, but the reason why I had to get a different one months ago was because the original, the brand was Dream Sky. I'm looking over there. I got it off of Amazon. It worked great until all of a sudden one day it just didn't want to turn on anymore. So I thought I'll just bring it upstairs. I'm not sure I want to throw it away because I don't know what's going on. And after about a month, it randomly starts working again up here. And for a couple weeks, I'm enjoying like, oh, I'll be up here, I'm going to turn on the radio. And then last week, it stopped again. I may have run out of patience with it now. Got my eye on a little Panasonic though. Okay, I feel drawn to pick up this. And again, I think it's back to the color. I'm grabbing things that look like Easter eggs in a drawer where it's mostly black and dark brown stuff. But this is the Maybelline Super Lock. I just laid down too much of the Super Lock right there. Gonna have to deal with that. But yeah, if we're just talking what do I feel drawn to, if I opened the drawer and I didn't know anything about anything, I'd probably just pick this one up. Strictly on looks. It's good. It's got good hold. I understand why people like it, but it also just did that, you know? Now I'm going for another spoolie that's cleaner. Honestly, the look in itself right now is making me really pleased, even with zero eyeshadow on. Like, this is so fresh feeling, the way that cheek is shiny and pink. I'm gonna do some eye primer. I do tend to feel a little bit drawn to things, you know, that have use. I know a lot of times I have been using my e.l.f. primer, a whole other thing. I like that it has that doe foot. But I also do kind of feel drawn to picking up things that visually have been used a lot. Like my Tower 28 Sunny Days, the tube does not have that much left in it. Is that my brain telling me this is loved because it's been almost used up? Or is it just a subconscious desire to turn something into an empty soon because that's satisfying? There are so many different eyeshadow palettes I could have picked up that I love the vibe of, that I love the look of, but I'm pulled out this one from Sydney Grace. It's got a little coffee on here, or is that a latte, you know, with a cute little design. I like a whimsical illustration. I enjoy this. This is pleasing to me. This is a palette that I had like out where I can see it. On the inside, she's super basic and everyday, but I think I need to keep it maybe a little bit on the basic side if I'm gonna be rocking pink lip and heavy pink cheek. And I do just love Sydney Grace quality, so I know when I am picking up one of their palettes, I'm gonna have a fun time with what's inside. I'm gonna go to Cinnamon Latte right here. Yes. It makes me think of a coffee shop. It makes me think of a 90s or early 2000s Tuscan themed kitchen. We're just lightly creating a crease. Cinnamon Latte. I like cinnamon flavors in coffee. But anymore, I've just been drinking the Folgers Black Silk And I've got the Zero Sugar Birthday Cake Creamer. And I do 1 packet of stevia. And a spoonful of collagen powder. I've been doing that since about the start of the year. My sister-in-law Sarah said, put collagen in your coffee. And I said, yep, I should be doing that. And I will say my nails have gotten really strong. I've had an easier time growing out my nails. And I don't know that it's made my hair necessarily grow faster. Somebody had asked me, like, what are you doing to make your hair grow so fast? I feel like the collagen has more to do with the strength of the hair, but I don't know. A very light, soft crease has been built in there. I want to use some of this shade called Hot Cocoa Kiss because I don't think I've used it very much because it's a deeper shimmer. Sometimes we think, well, what do we do with those deeper shimmers? A light shimmer, I think we all kind of know where that's going, but oftentimes I'm building up with mattes in this palette and I want to use one of the deeper shimmers. So I'm going to Hot Cocoa Kiss, picking some up. It's not having any fallout, which is really nice to see out of a deeper shimmer. And I'm patting this on. She's going all over half the lid. I like the sheen. I'm flipping my brush. I'm doing my little thing where I pull it up a little. Ooh, that will do. Cute. I really like that kind of intensity. It felt so easy to do. Then I'll go back to my crease brush and blend the edge, soften it out a little. This palette can get very dark and dramatic. As you can see, we have a full-on black. I love makeup. I think that looks really cool and very effortless right there. Now, what do we do going inward? I'm thinking a little coconut cream, maybe. The shade names in this palette make me feel good too. Coconut cream, Hot Cocoa Kiss, warm croissant, people watching, a good book, soup of the day, raspberry lemon muffin. Yeah, this one's sending out some good vibes. This is just a smooth shimmer and we're just gonna let that interact with the other one. And then guys, you know how I feel about a shadow stick, a lazy liner. I love the method of using this for definition. This one is called Pony. It's from Hard Candy. So it's taking a format I've grown to love as eyeliner, and it's also doing the thing where it's making its outer packaging be the color of the product inside, and also the name is Pony. Why? I'm not sure, but I've latched onto that. This is like a taupey with a hint of smoky lilac. Think like Laura Mercier Amethyst a little bit. But I'm gonna just use that on my lower lash line. I don't think it will have enough contrast to do much on the upper lash line. Maybe just a little on the outside, why not? I would like to really thank those of you who are watching this video and stick with my videos and watch the long ones too. Like, I appreciate you. I've seen an increasing amount of people who have told me, like, I started watching when I was this age and now I'm this age. People will find me on TikTok and then tell me things like that. And it's just really, really cool. I'm just glad to be here. I'm glad to have a place where I can talk about what I love. I truly love makeup. I hope if you are in a place where you just need to bring back a little bit of joy to the process, I hope my videos do their part in bringing that to you. I think the eye is exactly how I want it, and we're ready for mascara now. I don't have tons and tons of mascaras in my rotation, but this stands out to me in my drawer, my Milani fan club. Now, I do know I like this mascara and this one works well for me, so that's a whole other thing in its favor, but also it's large and also it just kind of stands out. Probably my least interesting drawer visually is the drawer that holds brow products and mascaras. So it's kind of funny that the things I feel drawn to pull out are the things that incorporate some kind of fun color. But I'm gonna curl my lashes. I'm gonna think about what I'm maybe gonna add to this lip. I think there's surely a fun gloss out there. That brush just says, hey, I know what to do here. You got lashes, I got mascara. Let's not make you take 8,000 swipes to get it done. One coat. Honestly, I could be content with the single coat, but I know it's gonna get even better with two in a second. Oh, I cleaned my closet out yesterday. My clothes closet. Yes, I'm on closet cleaning missions in this house. And yeah, it did feel good. Although I did reach the point midway through the process where the floor of the closet was covered in a pile of clothes I'm giving away, a pile of hangers, a pile of randomness that didn't belong in the closet. And it was in that moment where you feel like, I don't want to power through the end of this. I no longer have the zest for this project that I had when I started, but I did pull through and finish. And honestly, the whole process, I mean, I weeded out a lot of clothes. I rearranged a lot of clothes, and I did it in under 2 hours. And yeah, I felt tired afterward, but it did feel good. I got a little bit on my lid. That's the thing about this brush. It is a larger brush. I'm not always drawn to larger brushes in mascaras, but I still think it's worth using for the way it builds so nicely. Working on coat 2 over here. Today's cafeteria lunch for my kids is Bosco sticks. Yes, something they can all get on board with. One day when I was reading to the 2nd grade, this was quite a while ago, there haven't been any other like guest reader opportunities, but it happened just before lunch and they invited us to stay and eat lunch, and I thought that was the greatest. It happened to be on Bosco stick day. We never had such a thing as Bosco sticks in my 90s growing up life. In the cafeteria, we did have an amazing thing called rainbow cake. It was a this thick graham cracker crust with some kind of gelatinous top that felt like a mixture of Jell-O and Cool Whip. Like it looked like Jell-O made creamy, but all the structure that Jell-O can have sitting on top of that graham cracker crust. I can taste it now. I can feel the texture of it now. Like that's the single most exciting thing to get on your plate back in those days. I was not a great eater, and my dad was the principal, and I had deep relationships with a lot of teachers and secretaries, and I got told on a lot that, oh, she's not eating well. Let's just say I grew up and got over my aversion for mashed potatoes just fine. Just because I didn't like beef stew then doesn't mean you're gonna not like it forever. But you know what they'd never be able to get me on? Not finishing the rainbow cake. And I was always good on a taco day, a spaghetti day. I ate well on pizza day. You know, just the stews and the chicken and noodles and all that stuff. Too much gravy. Couldn't do gravy for a number of years in my life. Those lashes are doing great, and we're just gonna do e.l.f. lash extender because we just need to. Tubing, you know the drill. Won't smudge, won't budge. Rainbow cake. Sometimes the top was pink and sometimes the top was orange. I don't remember that greatly affecting the flavor. It was just more of a color, but always had that incredibly thick and wonderful graham cracker crust. Another thing they served that you never hear about kids having these days was they'd make bread and butter. That would be my sustenance on days when it was like a mashed potato centered type of dish. And thank goodness for the sliced pears. Those kept me afloat too. But yeah, there was a secretary who went by the name of Tiny, and she was amazing, and she loved me like she was my grandma, but she'd tell my mom if like I was taking my tray back with too much food left on it. This is from my elementary school years. Also, every day when I get home from school, mom's saying, "Did you say thank you to the cooks?" Okay, for a gloss. I do feel drawn often to grabbing a lifter gloss. I do think there's a size thing here. They don't have to be as big as they are. Look at them from the bottom sometime. These are built out, right? This is the width of this, though it's smaller, maybe a little smaller around than that, but they've made it be something substantial because I can't be the only one drawn to something that just feels a little bigger. Gummy Bear is this shade, and this is going to be like sheer pink, okay? But I think it's going to be nice over the... I had to just unload my memory card mid-lip gloss application, but I like the way these feel when I'm controlled in the application. They're a good level of thickness. I like the scent of these, and it's just a little bit sweet. Hint of tropical, little coconut maybe in there. But I like the way that's looking over top of the Tarte stick. You remember what we put on there first. We used the Maracuja Juicy Multi-Stick in Flamingo. Cheek and lip coordination, and then went with the cooler eye, simpler, absence of color basically type of eye, because I think that all plays well together. But that's my look, you guys. That's my bag of things that just makes me feel good. I could do this video many times over because there's lots of makeup that I feel good about for various reasons. But this is just kind of visually, and then the feeling I get from it. That's sort of what I was focusing on. But I think the look came together great. The blush in the end, it really wasn't too much. I didn't have to go going over it in some corrective way. I think the highlighter went went on and everything just kind of made sense. So thank you for your time, everyone. If you're watching this video and you're understanding where I'm coming from with it, let me know what products you feel this way about too. And yeah, thank you for your time, friends. I so appreciate you, and I hope you're having a great, great day. I will see you soon. I love you. Bye.